Hey, what's up, everybody? Johnny and Matt from Worship Sound Guy here. We are so glad you're with us, checking out some live streams. We haven't done one of these in a minute, or at least like not like a public one like this where everybody can see it. So I'm really excited to have you guys all here to check out some mixes, hopefully offer some helpful critique and feedback. And yeah, this will be really fun. So I'm kind of at our studio back at my house. Matt is at his home church, so we're all kind of networking from around the world here to be with you guys. And let's kind of start for just a second here by talking about like what kind of makes a good live stream mix. I think that's something that we should like define the goal so we can be accurate with what we're talking about. So Matt, what do you think like makes a solid live stream mix in your opinion?
Man, yeah, I think one of the things is obviously consistency week to week. I think that tends to be most of my struggle. Is maybe I'll get one week that's feeling pretty good and I'm happy about, and then the next week feels completely different. So I think consistency from week to week is a big part of it. But also I think obviously the way that you're used to hearing music on your phone or soundbar at home is very different from a PA in a room. So I think I tend to find like a lot less dynamic range is necessary on live streams. Just kind of more polished, packaged, if I could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of high level. I think what I think of when I think of a good live stream mix.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's we're so used to mixing like big speakers, big PAs, big rooms, all that kind of stuff, and then you have to like scale that down so much for a live stream where it's like, okay, now we're talking about somebody's phone, and it's like it's got to sound good on that in addition to sounding good in the room. So that's a really like tough tension, I think, to try to balance. It's like we're trying to make it sound really good in two very different listening environments. So I think that's tough. Let's see. Oh, one person saying Matt's mic volume is way quieter than Johnny's. Matt, do you want to come up some on your volume?
Yeah. Let's see if this is better.
There we go.
Yeah, y'all let me know if you can hear what I'm saying now.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
It.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's one of the inherent challenges for sure, is trying to make things sound consistent from the room into wherever people are listening online. I think the other thing for me, like the big like kind of goal, is we want to make sure that it feels, sounds, and like carries the energy from the room to where people are watching at home. And I think sometimes it can go one of two ways, where it either like lacks all that energy and like the room feels way more energetic and the live stream just feels dead, or it kind of like people try to overproduce their live stream and it ends up sounding way too like almost
really
like
call out.
Almost like surreal in like how it sounds, and you're like, that doesn't sound at all what it sounds like when I go to church on Sunday. So it's like kind of this balance of like, you don't want to undershoot or overshoot what the actual room feels like. You want to be able to translate that energy from the room into wherever people are watching outside of that room. Yeah. Cool. All right. So what do you say we jump into some streams?
Let's do it. I'm excited. I think I've only done one of these with you before. So
yeah, these are really fun. I love it. And hey, just quick plug real quick. Actually, somebody earlier was asking, where do we get to submit live streams? So the number one place is actually, we have a community website. It's Worship Sound Guy Central, and you can just go to worshipsoundguy.com and you can join. And on that Worship Sound Guy Central, we have an entire community where you can interact, ask questions, submit live stream mixes for review. It's very, very cool. And you also get access to all of our full-length courses. We do monthly workshops. We have a huge resource library. We got practice multi-tracks. We have like console presets, all kinds of stuff like that. So if you are interested in getting better at running sound for your church, that's a really, really good way to do it. So again, worshipsoundguy.com, that is where all that stuff is at. Okay, and speaking of, the very oh my gosh, I can't talk. The very first person we're going to check out is our buddy Brandon Davis. He submitted his stream. So he was actually, we do an event every year called Mix Lab, which is like an in-person training event, and Brandon came out for that. He's from Biltmore Church up in Asheville. And yeah, so he submitted his mix through Central for us to check out. Let's go ahead and take a listen real quick. So this is a song, Jesus Be the Center. Actually, our friend Micah Massey helped write this song, so that's pretty fun. Let's check out what they're doing.
Jesus, you're the center, and everything revolves around
Really nice vocal blend.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, you Jesus be the center of my life.
Level of low end is really good.
Jesus be the center of my life.
Okay, I'm pausing there to talk for like 1 second about
Yeah,
this.
do it.
So one thing that I think a lot of churches struggle with is getting quieter moments to still feel full. And Brandon's done a great job of that here. I think like obviously this is like a very like down part of the song. It's a very like kind of delicate part of the song. And yet it still feels full. Like there's nice low end. Like you can feel the kick coming through. Obviously I'm listening on headphones right now, so I'm have probably a little advantage of like getting to hear more low end than somebody does like, you know, on their phone or whatever. But I think it feels really, really good. For a like such a quiet and like down moment of the song. Brandon was saying just some additional information. They're on a DM7, which is awesome. They are using waves, and he was saying that he feels like his mix is a little bit over compressed. Like the drums kind of feel a bit flat and dead to him, and he's struggling to get it loud enough for YouTube. So he said he's got Waves L4 that's like doing a lot of work on there, like to get it loud enough. So we'll kind of listen with that in mind too.
From beginning to the end, it will always be, it's always been you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, nothing else matters, and nothing in this world will do.
Verbs are blended fantastically.
Yeah, I think they are too. I was gonna say, like, I think there's some really nice stuff he's doing with like kind of the space of the mix. What do you think, Matt? I'm curious to get your take on what do you think about the level of the room mics. Personally, I'm like, I think they could be up a little bit.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I'm hearing verbs in the mix, but I'm not hearing as much room
right.
as I would like, especially in kind of a down moment like that. I feel like that can help kind of tie it all together.
Yeah, I think room mics are one of those things like just, I mean, I cannot overstate how important room mics are. It brings everything together. So yeah, if you're not running those room mics or not running them the way that they actually like kind of come up in the mix, that is a problem. So I would definitely want to hear more of those, be a little more like, I think it's a super warm mix, which I really like.
So it feels like a hug. Like I like the mix.
Yes, it does. But with that, I'm like sometimes room mics can even sort of balance like some of like the mids and the highs, kind of along with like the natural like warmth of like what's coming out of the console.
Yeah.
Let's get to a slightly bigger part of this song here. Actually, I know this song doesn't get huge. Actually, you know what? We can just go back. We can listen to another song.
Let's do it.
Seek first the kingdom and its treasures. Everything else it will be added. All that I'm needing, I know the Lord will provide.
Okay, so I think I'm hearing more of what he's talking about in this one where it's getting big, where it does kind of feel like it's like hitting a wall. And I think that wall is that limiter. Just trying to get it loud enough for YouTube, which obviously that's a real concern. But I do think, yeah, it's like how do we get that to where it feels a little more open and spacious, but still gets loud enough? I think that's probably kind of that challenge he's talking about. Matt, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably better to talk towards like the technical side of that. But one of the things I noticed right away is like I feel like a lot of the energy from a mix comes from the mid range, like the guitars and the keys. And I was noticing like I definitely felt that it was kind of hitting a wall, but I was hearing a lot of vocals and a lot of drums. I feel like pushing guitars, even just like a level thing, like pushing more of the mid range content might just make it feel louder and come across as louder. Technically, like I know you still need to hit the you know, the required YouTube level, but I think mix wise, that was the first thing I heard. I was like, man, I feel like overall mid range could be pushed a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it's like that like magic is for sure in the mid range, is like where all that stuff comes together. To kind of you got like, you know, your bass instruments and elements down here, you've got like vocals and high end stuff up here, but then someone's got to like support everything and connect it all in the middle, and that's where, you know, keys, guitars, tracks comes in. So yeah, I think getting some of that stuff up is gonna really help to like kind of tie it all together, and that's even gonna bring some of the loudness that you're looking for, because it's like, you know, if your mix is like vocal and drum heavy, it's gonna be hard to push it as loud as
Yeah.
you like need to push it. But
Yeah.
if you bring in just some other instrumentation with it, then all that stuff is gonna help fill in that space and make it feel bigger and louder. Same thing with room mics. That's gonna fill in some of that too.
It's kind of that thing where if the kick and the snare are the loudest thing in your mix and you're trying to bring that all up, you have all these peaks sticking out that are going to get squashed. So you're going to hear that before you get to hear the rest of your mix. So even if you have the ability to just, like Johnny, I think you use like a kick and snare group for this specifically, which is smart. And I keep forgetting I need to set that up on my console. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I do like doing that. Yeah, I think you can, if there is some group processing you can do that can kind of tame some of those peaks before they get to the master. Because like, if you think about it, by the time audio gets to the master, it's been combined with everything else in the mix. So at that point, if you're using a compressor or a limiter or whatever to turn down those peaks, it's not just getting the peaks, it's getting all the information for the entire mix during that time when it's compressing or limiting. So it's like you're not just limiting the kick or the snare, you're limiting your entire mix when that happens. So ideally, you want to kind of take care of that before it hits the master, and then hopefully you're just applying like a couple dB of compression or limiting to just kind of lock everything in. Like you're not like smacking down a kick or a snare on every hit. Yeah. Cool. But man, I think this is a really, really solid start. I mean, not just start. It sounds really good.
Great.
I do. Yeah. I'll listen to their pastor real quick. I feel like everyone talks about music, but half of the service is speaking. So,
but some church hurt is because of bad leadership, and you've been affected by that. And you've got some scars from that. And no leader is perfect, but the Bible does distinguish between good leadership and bad leadership.
Cool. Honestly, I think that sounds great. I'm hearing like more of the room there. Which is somewhere we hear like if there's laughter or applause or something.
Go at some very cool churches around the country. And there is not a single place that I would rather preach than this place right here. Now,
Okay. Yeah, I will say I think there could still be more room mics in that. I think what I'm hearing is like it goes like dead silence like if he's not speaking. So I think we're hearing mostly from his headset and like probably some like reverberance coming in the headset. And so I'm like, fill that out with room mics. Just make it, that'll help smooth out and just make it feel like he's just talking and there's like not even a mic there. Kind of just feels like he's just in the room. So yeah, more room mics. That's I think the big takeaway from that one, Brandon. That's awesome though, man. Thank you for submitting it. Yeah, way to go, man. Way to go. And we can chat about that on Central as well if you want to, drop any more information, drop any thoughts about the mix into that. That would be amazing. Okay, next up, we have another Central member. This is Christian. He's over at LifeBridge Church. So let's see, they did Holy Forever this past week, which is awesome. So he said he's mixing Ableton with the Luke Hendrickson template.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, which is great. Luke is awesome. And they've got kind of a static mix going, so like it's not really actively manned. They've only got one engineer. So they're running a DAW and a front of house console, presumably, with only one guy, which is a challenge, to say the least. So let's take a listen and see what we've got. Let's talk about the slight elephant in the room, which is the electronic drum kit. Okay. So it's not that it doesn't sound good, but it really sounds like electronic drums.
Yeah.
So I think the very first thing that I would do, and I assume that this is probably an issue in the room as well, I would load up some other drum samples into that. Something that feels maybe a little less like, like I feel like right now it's on like rock kit number 1, so I want to get something that's like a little more tailored to like, especially their context. Like, like it's a smaller band, just like one acoustic or one electric player, bass, keys, a couple worship leaders. I would say like, let's maybe like tone it down, give it like more of an organic kind of vibe, like pick the sounds that are going to work with that instead of like, all right, let's go big drums. It's like, that can sound good in the right context, but I'm not sure this is the context for that.
Yeah.
What do you
I think
think?
that's same. I was gonna say, finding some samples that are more like warm, like acousticy, organic, like these just all felt super bright. And
Yeah.
again, to your point, when we were talking about like defining it, like making the live stream mix sound like it's in the room, like the drum sound I'm hearing, obviously it's electric, but like it's not matching the vibe that I'm picking up on video in the room.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So yeah, and I would think that's probably the case in the room too, where it's like, whoa, that, those drums don't sound like, what we're actually seeing on stage.
I will say
I
it
would,
is hard to make electric drums feel that way. So
it sure is.
like,
And
power
I
to
would,
ya.
yeah, it's a struggle for sure. I would definitely say too, if you can, and actually I'm trying to look, it looks like over here they've got multiple outputs
Individual,
running.
Yeah.
That's a huge key, is being able to like not just have like a left right mix, like have kick, snare, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3, cymbals, like all that kind of stuff. Having that separated out, that'll help a ton. So that's good, and that also means like that makes it super easy to load up some better samples. I would say the guys over at Drum Sample Shop make some really good stuff. That Sound drums are awesome. I've got some drum samples. Maybe I'll drop on Central. We'll see.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not saying anything, but I know Tommy's got good stuff.
Yeah, I've got some good stuff. I might have to make that available. But yeah, so I think that's like thing number one, is like band's playing really good. Like everyone's like doing a really good job. Let's kind of keep listening. We'll kind of like set the sound of the drums to the side and kind of focus on like what the mix is doing. Jump around a little bit. Yeah, so I think I'm hearing some of maybe the symptoms of that kind of unmanned live stream mix, where like vocals are getting lost and there's not really much that he can do about that, because there's no one actually running it live in the room. So yeah, I think if there is some way to get another volunteer to jump in there, and it's like, even it's literally just like, hey, whoever's leading the song, turn that fader up.
Yeah.
Like that would make a huge difference. Because I don't think there's necessarily anything like bad going on, with like the structure of it. I think it's just like, you've got to have somebody back there. We got to get some different tones in there, and I think that's going to help pull everything together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I think the only other thing I'm missing is like maybe a little bit of extended low end, and I think part of that is the kick sample and bass guitar. But that was the only other thing. I was like, mid range actually feels very rich and full. I feel like there's a good amount of room mic in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I was missing just a touch of low end.
Yeah, I would agree. For sure. Cool. Let's listen to Speaking.
And great moments, but there's something else about this joy, really hope deferred that we had for a couple years at that point. I remember getting into the elevator to go down, to get in the car to come pick my kids up, and there was just a random guy in the elevator, and I'm standing there, and I just never had that much joy, and I just turned to this guy, and I go,
I think this is pretty good.
Yeah. This is a great example of what we were talking about in the last one, is where when he's not speaking, there's still...
Yeah, there's a little bit of room tone going on. So yeah, I feel like blending those room mics in is really helping with that. Yeah, that sounds really good. I mean, like, if I'm being really nitpicky, I might dip a hair out of those upper mids. Just kind of that like small speaker kind of sound, like listening for that.
Just had a baby, and he's like, oh,
yeah, right there. Yeah, you can just kind of hear a little bit of upper mids. Like, that's a very minor thing. I'm sure it's probably pretty close to what it sounds like in the room too. So like, I wouldn't nitpick that too much. But yeah, this is really good. So yeah, Christian, great job. Let's get you some new drum samples, and then we'll kind of figure out where to go from there. But I think overall that's pretty solid. Sweet. Also, if you guys have any questions, like those of you who are watching live with us, jump in, comment on it. Let us know what you think. We'd love to answer a question. Like, even if you're like, oh yeah, I struggle with whatever as well. Jump in, ask questions. We're more than happy to answer stuff live. So yeah, 100% would love to see you in the chat. Okay, Next up, we have Josh. He's from Metro Church in Texas. So, okay, a couple of cool things going on here. Let's see, let me back up real quick because our first song is not in English, which is very cool. It's in Hindi. Let's see if I'm in the right spot here. Yeah, that's super cool. I love listening to worship in other languages because I'm like, well, and first it's like, that's what like the kingdom is going to sound like, right?
Yeah, dude.
And it's cool because it kind of like, I'm like, I don't know the song, I don't know what they're saying, but it, to me, like it allows me to almost like focus more on like the mix itself rather than just like, you know, it's like, oh, I know the song, I know what the words are, like kind of just lets you like zone in on like really what's happening in the mix. Okay, the first thing I'm noticing with this one is that it is dark.
Yeah.
Yep, I feel like we're missing a little bit of like that high end or a lot of that high end extension. He said, let's see, his main thing that he was asking about, like if we could give him some tips on, is to make vocals especially feel like they're more in the room with the band. Let's listen a little bit more. Let's go do an English song real quick. Let's see what we're doing.
You for the cross, Lord, and thank you for the price you paid, and bearing all my sin and shame, in love you came and gave.
There's a lot of good stuff going on here too.
I was gonna say, I feel actually pretty personally like I kind of like where the vocals are sitting.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I think if anything, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, if anything, I feel like the vocals are in the right spot. I feel like maybe what he's hearing is the drums feel like they kind of stand out in front of everything, like they're a little on the dry side. And I'm wondering if that's maybe, if you're comparing it to the drums, and I would say more it feels like the drums are in their own space. Yeah, like that's because I actually really like where the vocals are sitting. I mean, maybe like, again, if you're nitpicking, maybe a little bit more, but it feels like they're in the same space with the rest of the band. The drums kind of feel like the one that's standing out to me, actually.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I like the drum tone. I like it's like nice and warm. I think it fits like at least like these songs we've heard so far. I think it fits. But yeah, it's definitely got a different space to it than everything else. I'm hearing like a lot of like nice long like lush reverbs on the vocals, and I'm not hearing that as much on like kind of the dry drums. So I think I like to kind of pull those two things together. And again, gosh, we keep coming back to this, but room mics just really help with that.
They are the secret sauce.
They really are the secret sauce because you'll get that kind of ambience that ties everything together, and that's huge for bringing cohesiveness to the mix and like making it all feel like it's in the same space, because then you actually are hearing all those things in the same space. So yeah, for anybody who's not used room mics before, it will change the way that you mix your live stream. Even just like a spaced pair of like little pencil condenser mics on the front of the stage will just blow your mind. Yeah, it'll be awesome. But yeah, I think like I said, I think there's a lot of good stuff on there. I'm like, I would love to just like add some more high end into that. I think just lifting that up is going to make it feel really good. Yeah, just a big old shelf, or even like, yeah, because like I'm. It's not even necessarily like, oh, you know, the vocals sound dull, or like, you know, the drums sound. It's like kind of everything is dull. Like it just needs a nice lift across the entire mix to get it to feel like present and have some like air and openness and life to it. So yeah, I think like those two things combined are going to be incredible for this mix. Yeah. But yeah, I think production is really solid. Like everything feels really good. Let's listen to speaking really quick.
We have a great joy in introducing our speaker, Pastor Tom. He's no longer.
I know this because I am one of them, all right? But it's incredible to watch these players from all over the world. They've been preparing for this moment, the talents and putting it on the world stage and putting it for everyone to.
Yeah. Again, this is one where like I think the mic is like EQ just fine. I would blend some more room mics into it. Yeah, make it feel a bit more open. Yeah, that's kind of all I would do there. Let's share real quick at the end here.
Closer.
Yeah, I feel like as the mix is getting bigger, it's kind of easy to cover up some of those elements. Like even like snare drum, like man, I want that to cut through. And I think like overall, just like a big like just a shelf going into the high end, I think is going to help with that. There might be some additional things like could use some more high end individually, but I think overall it's just like let's make it not dull. I think that is 100% the key there. But yeah, man, really good job, Josh. That's very solid. Okay, next up we've got another Josh. Let me make sure I'm right about that. Are there double Joshes, or did I write it down wrong? Nope, there's two Joshes. Okay, different Josh. All right, so this Josh is from City View Church in Phoenix. And let's see, I was going to play their opener. They did praise. He's got an Avantis feeding the room and the stream combined. So let's see what that is going to sound like.
Good morning, City View Church. A happy Father's Day to our dads. We can all stand and let's worship together.
Okay, so Matt, you know what I think?
I think I know what you think.
I think we got to take some of the room mics from this mix and we got to put them in the other mixes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I've ever said this before. This has got too much room mics in it. And that, honestly, hey, good problem to have. You just turn them down.
Yes.
But yeah, we're hearing a ton of the room. It doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like there's too much of it.
Dude, I have maybe this is a hot take. I don't know.
Go for it.
I almost feel like it's the right amount of room mics, but they're positioned where they're capturing way too much drums. I feel like I don't mind the amount of room mic, like when it's kind of just kick and like I'm listening to like guitars, vocals, or I'm like that actually feels really rich. But it's like specifically the drums coming through the room mics that I feel like is making it feel too much. So the easy fix would be knock it down. But I'd be curious like where the room mics are positioned and if there's a way to get a little less drums in them.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's keep watching. Let's see if we can see them. The other weird part of it is, so like notice how much hi-hat there. Like it's so direct. It sounds like the hi-hat is like right here.
Yeah.
No reverb, like no nothing. It's just like it is right there. Whereas like everything else feels like it has this tremendous amount of space to it.
Yeah.
Let me poke around a bit here.
I retract slightly, maybe like 5% less. Listen a little more.
Maybe a tiny bit. I mean, okay, I wish I could see where those mics are at, but I don't think we're gonna get to. Maybe we can get an answer from them on where those mics are at. They also have an interesting PA configuration.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. It almost looks like two different kinds of hangs. And I'm not sure what's going on. So I am wondering if that's like they have an interesting room shape too. So I'm wondering if that's kind of contributing to like some like the echoiness that we hear. Yeah. I'm not seeing any treatment. So a lot of reverberation potentially. So yeah, there may just be some inherent challenges with that because like I'm noticing like drums are in a cage. So theoretically, not a ton of that is getting out.
Yeah.
I'm super interested to know what exactly what's going on here. Like if the room is maybe very, very reverberant, in which case I would definitely say like, hey, let's get some acoustic treatment in there. Let's maybe look at like you said, the positioning of the room mics, like see if that can kind of mitigate some of that. So we still get like all like the clapping. So that was incredible. It's awesome. Yeah. That's exactly what you want to hear. But let's try to get that and maybe less of like the reverberance of the room. I think that could be like kind of the magic formula that really makes it
I wonder
click.
also if in the meantime, if it could help. Obviously, I don't know how they're treating the room mics, but just bringing up a high pass, maybe a little higher than wherever it is right now, and kind of try to cut out some of the low mid from the room mics. Might help it sit a little better.
Yeah, that's the stuff to me. Like, lows and low mids and room mics, it just kind of gets like woofy, and it doesn't like it's not nice tight low end or like warm low mids. It's just like flubby everywhere. So yeah, I tend to just like high pass those out. Let's listen to speaking. That might give us some more insight as well.
We can intercede for others. And he hears us and he listens to us. So right now our second prayer prompt is simply going to be interceding for someone in your life.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing
Someone
a
who
really
needs to
echoey
hear
room
from the Lord.
You're right.
So let's pray.
The ambience is so nice.
It is. Yeah.
Born of his spirit,
That vocals EQ'd great.
washed in his blood,
The reverb is super nice on
and
it.
what he did for me on Calvary is more than enough.
I'm
Like
super
right here,
curious.
The room mic is kind of. I'm like, it feels good. The reverb kind of like
Yeah.
dies into the room mic. Like I really
It
like
does. Yeah, it might be a situation where like I know he said that he's running an Avantis for stream and front of house. I'm like, man, I wonder if there's some way that just to be able to push that and pull that room mic level a little bit, like when it needs it versus when it doesn't, or just trying to lock in that balance some. But man, I think again, there's a lot of really good stuff going on here. I think it's just a couple little tweaks that are gonna get that to come together. Very cool. Matt, you got any other thoughts on that one?
No, I agree. Like tonally, everything sounds great. I think it's just styling, getting those room mics in the sweet spot.
Yeah, I think I might like to hear more bass. Which that could be. We'll listen to it in a second here, but I think that can also be a symptom of like a less than ideal room. Is like maybe there's like a lot of bass buildup. Just kind of from that reverberance. So maybe that's leading to not turning up the bass as much, which then makes it not translate as much on live stream. So let's listen to that really quick.
That's why I trust.
I'm hearing more here. Woo! Okay. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, band's picking up. We're getting into some pretty hefty compression there, like this. If you hear it like on the snare hits right there. Okay, so whatever compressor that's hitting, I'd back that off some. I don't know how that sounds in the room, but if you can do it for live stream, I think that would be good to try to open that up, make it feel a bit more natural and less compressed. Interestingly, I was getting plenty of bass there. I thought it sounded fine. So maybe it's just that first song. Maybe just bass was a little bit low on the first song, and now it sounds good. Let's listen a little bit more to that. Okay, I think that compression is on the master bus or like a band bus.
Yeah.
I feel like vocals are sounding okay, but like the band is like squashing down. So I think
you hear it going with the drums. You hear it pumping.
Yes, you hear it. Yeah, you hear it like kind of like attacking and releasing. So I would Josh, look at whatever compression you might have on that and kind of see if there's somewhere that's like maybe like hitting that compressor like harder than you would want it to. Because I think backing that off is gonna make it feel more natural. But I think these are all like little small fixes that just like one quick aside here. A lot of people will ask like, hey, like how do I get better at my stream, especially a situation like this where it's like I've got one person, mixing everything. They're mixing front of house and the stream from one console. I can't go like really listen to it while it's happening. Like how do I get better? You get better by listening to it, writing down a couple things that you hear, and then go making like really intentional changes the next time you mix. That is how it's done. And it's kind of a long process. Like you don't want to go to like try to change everything at once. But if you just go through, you go, okay, I'm going to look for that snare compression or like whatever compression that was, and go through your mix, try to figure out where that was happening and go address it. And then, the next week, do your stream, listen back. Did it help? And then if it did, cool. put that in the template. If it didn't help, all right, we're gonna look somewhere else and try it again next week. And just like those like little like step stones to get better and better and better. Like that's how you do it. So yeah. So for anybody who's listening, who's wanting to, improve their stream mix, like that is the way you attack it. Like not all at once. Sweet. Okay. Next up, we've got Abner over at Oaks Church. He's also in Texas. You should be friends with Josh from earlier. Let's listen to what they've got going on. They're doing another Avantis. And he says going into a DAW for mastering with Waves plugin. So I guess they're sending like a left-right mix, and then they're going to master that in a DAW, which I think that can be a really good approach. So let's check out how it sounds.
All right, good morning, Oaks. Oaks Church, second service in the house. How you feeling? It's great to see you guys.
There's some room mics. I love that.
Come on, sing a bit.
And I'm clean. Sin was stained on me. Shame was running deep. Your love was built on Calvary. Oh, hallelujah, I'm clean. God, how can it be?
Okay, I think there may be a few things going on here. First, I think there's a chance that there might be some tuning in a wrong key. I don't know what might be going on there. I'm hearing something kind of warbly on the vocals. I'm not sure what's going on, but let's talk more about the mix though, because I think I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, Matt. I feel like that waves change is probably doing a little too much.
Yeah, it definitely feels. It could be a room thing, but it feels like it's like all the top end is getting killed. Like it feels really muddy. And it could be that, like, if there's not a lot of low end in the room, that's just not getting heard, and so it's just kind of living in the stream mix. But yeah, it feels like whatever mastering chain is on it is working double time.
Yep, working overtime for sure. Let's jump to a different song really quick here. Yeah. So there is just a ton of compression on there. I think it's compression, not limiting. If I'm guessing, like I feel like I hear it like squishing a lot. Like it's kind of one of those mixes where like everything is sort of trying to like fight to be heard, like fight for attention, and nothing is able to like rise to the top because it all just like smacks into that compression. If you ever notice like, and I've done this before sometimes too, where it's like I'll have too much going on my mix bus, and I'm like, man, I can't get vocals to like or guitars or whatever to like come up and like be present in the mix the way that I want it to. And then I realize it's because I'm just turning them up into a compressor that is then turning them back down, which is super frustrating. You're fighting yourself, and I think that might be what's going on here. I'd be interested to hear, maybe we can get this from him, the unmastered version of this.
I was like, I'd be really curious.
That'd be super cool. So so if you are listening, Abner, if you're on here, if you watch it back later, come jump on Central and we will figure this out. We'll get you a good mastering chain. I think
feel like there might be a really good mix under there. I'm like, it almost feels like I can't hear the mix because it's like diving.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I'm hearing all that like gooey, mushy compression. And that's kind of, it's covering up like what's really going on in the mix. Yeah. I'm hearing like some good stuff. I'm like, man, I feel like vocals are EQ'd good. I feel like drums are punchy. I'm definitely hearing a lot of like, there's a lot of good like keys, like organ stuff going on in the song. But it's all just kind of turning into mush because it's hitting that compression so hard. And I think that's what's really holding that one back. Let's go ahead and listen to Speaking on this.
We hope you come and hang out with us in person. We're simply just better together. So thank you. Come and join us, be with us. If you physically can't make it, for some reason, just shoot us an email. It's info, I-N-F-O, at Oaks Church.
We're on a different section.
To a solution that just, boom, like a light bulb. It's going to be a reflex. The first thing you see, the first thing you hear, the first thing you think, and it's a reflex, and you're...
Yeah, I'm even hearing a lot of compression on that. I'm curious if that is even still like that mastering chain compression. I mean, it could be on the channel for sure, but
Yeah.
my gut instinct is that it's what's going on in waves afterwards.
That makes sense.
That is
And I know it
my-
can be really easy to overdo master.
Oh, it's so easy. It's so
Like, I
easy.
do it
Yeah.
all the time. Exactly what you were talking about. I'll be feeling like I'm slamming into something, and then I'm like, oh, I just got a little trigger happy with my mastering chain.
Totally. Yeah, it's super easy to do. I think the thing that I always tell people with that, like when they're over processing the mix, is like, what were you trying to do? Like, because it started with like probably a good goal. You know, it's like you heard something, you're like, okay, I know there's something that I need to address. I want to make it, better in some way. So what was that thing that you were trying to do? And then just try a different approach to get there. Like rather than like, just like backing off the whatever you're doing that you're trying now, just back it off, try a different thing to see if you can get to a better version of that thing that you're originally trying for. So you don't lose sight of it. You just kind of take a different approach. Let's listen to a little more of worship with this one. Because again, this sounds fine. So you just when everything comes in, it's just hitting that wall.
In the darkness we were waiting, without hope, without light.
That is a big reverb on her voice.
Yeah. It was really long.
Yes, really long. I might tail that down some. It's run this thing where it's like the reverb is so loud that it almost like it steps all over her voice, and it's so long that even like if you put like a pre-delay or whatever on it, it's not going to fix that. That's when where it just needs to either like die off like more aggressively at first, or just be a shorter reverb overall. Let's keep listening.
From heaven you came running.
It's also very mid-rangey. It like dips in mid-range out of that reverb.
To fulfill the law and prophets, to a virgin came the word.
Because her voice is really nice.
From a throne of endless glory,
And I think the EQ on it is
to a
good.
cradle in the dirt.
Let's get to the big part. Yeah, it's like the mix just like whoop, it just collapses in on itself. And yeah, I think there's a good mix under there. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's just getting sabotaged by the stuff that's running into. So yeah, that's really good though. Because like, it's not like, wow, we've got work to do just to like try to salvage something usable. So you've already got some usable. You just need to back off like what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good start. Cool. Okay. So the last one that we're going to look at for today is going to be from Joe. Joe's out at Echo Church in Montana, another Avantis user. So he's going, and Joe, if you want to drop in the comments, you're watching right now. You said that you're going into Pro Tools and then processing in Pro Tools, then going back to the Avantis to get into your video network. And the way that you described it kind of made me wonder. I wasn't sure if you're like fully mixing like individual tracks in Pro Tools, or if you're doing something similar to what Abner was doing with mixing, just like essentially mastering your like left right mix in Pro Tools. So I would love to know if you're mixing like fully completely in Pro Tools or like mastering Pro Tools. But let's take a listen to it. Also, I love this aspect ratio. I think it's really fun. Getting more of that like cinematic view. It's very cool. Okay, first off, band is killing it.
Yeah, they are.
They're doing great. That drummer is sick. Matt, you got some thoughts off the top?
Yeah, I I said this earlier, but I think what I'm hearing at like the top of the mix is kick, bass, and vocal, and I feel like I want more keys and guitar in it. I think it'd give it a little bit more because it sounds good. I feel like it's missing like a little bit of energy or life in it, and I feel like that's that mid-range thing.
Yeah,
What are you
I
thinking?
agree. Yeah, I think there's definitely just some instrumentation that needs to pop up there. I also think, in contrast to what we heard before, this mix feels actually a little bit like under processed to me. Like especially drums, with the exception of kick. I'm hearing a lot of like punchy processed kick, but it doesn't quite match what I'm hearing on like snare or toms or cymbals. Like those sound very raw to me. Let's listen a little bit more so we can kind of hear that. Yeah, it just kind of sounded like little like kind of clacky, like clacky toms. And I think it's just probably just an EQ issue, just kind of wanting to, bring a little bit more lift and life to those with some high end stuff. Same thing with the snares, kind of bringing some life into that as well. And I think, in addition to what you were saying about kind of the mid range needing some life, I think there's some life that needs to happen on the top end as well.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing with live streams. I feel like what we hear more often than almost anything else is like dull live streams. And the reason for that is because PA systems are meant to be flattering to your mix. So it's like, you have it sounding awesome in the room. You're like, yeah, this is great. But you're not realizing that like the PA's got this like nice top lift and bottom lift on it. So it's like really pleasing to listen to. Or at least I should say a lot of PA systems are tuned that way. Or there's like a lot, some extra high end to kind of help you out. But then we actually go back and listen to your board mix or your live stream. You go, oh man, it's like really dull sounding. And that's because your PA was helping you out and giving it that high end lift that you wanted. And like kind of that articulation, but you have to work a little bit harder to get that stuff to translate on a stream.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I think streams typically just need more high end than you think you do. Like even
They
I think
do.
my mastering chain going out. Like I think you're talking about the one thing at a time, week to week. I remember like multiple weeks being like, all right, well, I'll add another 2 dB and see how that sounds next week. Like, man, I'll go another 2. Okay,
Yeah. And if you're ever like wondering, like how much can I add? How much should I add? Go listen to some like, commercially recorded music, like from, whatever your favorite worship artist or church or whatever it is. You will be shocked at how much high end there is in it. And what's so important to remember is like, even though that may seem like, wow, I'm adding a ton of high end to stuff on the stream. It's like, that's what people are used to listening to on their phone. Like that's their phone is like made to have that kind of music played through it with that amount of high end. So yeah, that's what people are expecting. So you don't want people to listen to, they're, Sunday morning, they're at home, they're listening to Spotify on their soundbar or whatever. Then they put on your stream and it's like, oh, that sounds super dull in comparison because they've just been listening to, stuff that is mixed in more of that kind of like commercial studio amount of high end. So you just kind of have to match that, like for better or worse. Let's keep listening because I think there's some good stuff going on here. Let's check out another song. Oh, I love the song. Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure this felt awesome in the room. Like those 4 ladies up there just killing it. All those harmonies were super tight. But yeah, I just want to hear a little bit more of that lift and just kind of that presence, that mid range stuff coming in for the stream. I think that's where it's kind of leaving off a little bit. Yeah, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, same. Like I think in that song, particularly in that, I'm like, I really wanted to hear. I heard a lot of kick, but I feel like I could hear, or I would like to hear more snare. A little more like like space on the snare. Like they're super dry, and like you were saying, just kind of unprocessed. And I'd love a nice bright room verb on them. You know, something just to give it some energy.
Yeah, some punch, energy, excitement, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's listen to speaking.
Moving, right? They're some of them are moving up to 300 miles away. It's not like they had a U-Haul. They got to load it up on a camel or a donkey. They got to, travel, and God's with them when they're moving.
I'm just thinking about Jesus being in a U-Haul now. That's a funny image. Okay, I think it sounds really good. I think the mic is EQ'd well. Headsets are always so tough. Like they just are. But yeah, I think it sounds good. Again, I think we could bring in more room mics. I think that's been a consistent theme as we've been listening to stuff here. But yeah, I think just kind of brings more space into it between phrases. Yeah, it goes to that like dead, still silence. And for me, I'm like, I don't ever want to. I like rooms always have ambience to them, and so your live stream should have ambience to it. Even if, he's between sentences, there's nothing. You should hear just people shifting in their seats and, just a little bit of noise in there is going to make it sound way more natural. They do that on like movies and TV shows and stuff all the time. They'll like record room tone and then just like layer that under the entire scene just so that like when characters are not talking, it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, there's nothing there. Silence, exactly. And so like for us, live streaming is like we want to do that same thing live. We want to be able to get some of that room tone in there and make it just feel like it's a real space. Love it. Cool. Those are the end of the set. See any additional insights there? Oh, there was no closing song. Okay, well, cool. That's good. All right. So I think that's a great place to wrap it up right there.
Chris,
just real quick plug.
Question here.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah, he was asking. He said his church has a separate advantage for mixing the live stream, but they go straight to YouTube, and just asking if these other churches are recording in a DAW and then reposting, which I don't believe so. Obviously, Johnny, you've kind of got the info from everybody who submitted, but I think if anything, the DAW is just being used for mastering.
Yeah, I think that is the case. At least that was my understanding of like the way that they're talking about it. So yeah, I know some churches, actually I don't know if they still do it. I know Elevation was doing this for a while where they would like for certain events and stuff, they would go back and like remix all their stream audio and then like repost the video with like the like fully like, edited mixed audio, like just like from the studio basically. I don't think that's most people. I think most people are just going straight out the console, whether it's broadcast console or it's a ton of work. So yeah, I think you're going straight out to YouTube for the most part. But yeah, it's a really good question. This is a good one too. So yeah, struggling with the mix between room mics and reverb and delay. That is really, really tough sometimes, isn't it? I think if I was going to offer some advice on this, I would say that you want to get reverbs, especially like delays are kind of a whole other thing, but you want to get reverbs that match the sound of your room itself. So like if you're in like a small space and you have this gigantic like cathedral reverb, your ear immediately goes, no, that's not right. Yeah. It can't be that. And similarly, if you're in a big space and you're, maybe your room mics are picking up this really like, big, wide, long ambience, but then you can hear a reverb that's like really short and it like, sticks out in the mix. That's also going to sound weird. So what I like to do, I like to blend a couple reverbs and delays and stuff, but I like to kind of, just do it all with the room in mind and, have that perspective on it. So anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. You got other thoughts on that, Matt?
No, same. I think the one thing that I'm always looking for to like measure, obviously the type of verb, but I really like, someone's stream was doing it really well, but when the verb that you're hearing in the stream kind of disappears into the room mics that you hear, that's like the sweet spot for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. I know this guy. This is Josh Elrod. He's a buddy of mine. Man, Josh is the best. He's a great guy, great engineer as well. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out this day. This is going to be like a regular thing for us, so hopefully it just keeps growing. You guys can submit all your mixes and stuff, and we'll pick them apart in the nicest way possible. And then just shout out for Worship Sound Guy Central. If you want all of our online courses, all of our resources, the community, places where you can ask questions, get to know a bunch of other live audio engineers from all around the world. It's really cool. Go to worshipsoundguy.com and click to sign up for Central. That's where all that stuff is, and that's a big part of like how we can connect with you guys on like a much deeper level and do workshops and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So awesome. You guys are the best. Keep up the great work. Submit your streams after next Sunday. I'm excited to hear them, and we will see you next time.
See you.